In the days long before the sun wore itself thin, and the earth was still full of wonder, there was a small village nestled at the edge of a great forest. The village, known as Ainkwasa, lay at the foot of a mountain so tall that its peaks were said to touch the very sky. The people of Ainkwasa lived in harmony with the land, and they had learned the rhythms of nature like one learns to breathe. Instinctively and without question. Among them was a young man named Kofi. He was not a warrior, nor a healer, nor a hunter. He was a farmer, and his hands were rough with the earth, his feet callous from walking the soil. Yet, despite his quiet life, Kofi had an extraordinary gift. He understood the language of the trees. From the smallest leaf to the tallest oak, the trees whispered to him, sharing their secrets, their joys, and their sorrows. But as much as Kofi loved the land, he longed for something more. The village elders often spoke of the mighty elephant, Ebuma, who roamed deep within the forest. Ebuma was not like other elephants. He was said to possess great wisdom, a wisdom that had been passed down through the generations. It was whispered that anyone who could prove themselves worthy in the presence of Ebuma would receive a gift beyond measure, a gift that could change the course of their life. One warm afternoon, as the village went about its work, Kofi sat beneath the shade of an ancient baobab tree, his heart heavy with a question. "Why have I not yet received my gift?" he asked aloud, though there was no one to hear but the wind and the leaves. The tree, as it always did, answered him. "Kofi, the gift you seek is not one that can be given," the baobab whispered in its deep, rustling voice. "It is a gift that must be earned, but you must first learn the true meaning of what you seek." Kofi did not fully understand, but the words stirred something in him. That evening, after the sun dipped low and the stars began to blink like distant candles in the sky, he decided to leave the village and seek Ebuma in the forest. The path through the forest was not an easy one. The trees grew thick and tangled, their roots twisting like ancient serpents beneath the earth. The air was heavy with the scent of wet leaves and earth, and the only sound was the rustle of the leaves, the hum of insects, and the distant call of the night birds. Kofi walked for hours, and as the forest grew darker and deeper, a sense of unease crept over him. He had heard stories, of course, stories of travelers who had entered the forest and never returned. But he was not afraid. Not yet. As the night wore on, Kofi came upon a clearing, and there, in the center of the moonlit space, stood Ebuma. The great elephant was majestic, his massive form bathed in the soft glow of the moon, his tusks gleaming like silver. He was enormous, yet there was a grace about him, a stillness that commanded reverence. Kofi stepped forward, his heart pounding in his chest. "Great Ebuma," he said, his voice a soft tremor, "I have come seeking your wisdom. I wish to receive the gift of knowledge that will change my life." The elephant did not move. His great ears flapped slowly, and his wise eyes, deep and knowing, fixed upon Kofi. "You seek a gift, young one," the elephant's voice rumbled in Kofi's mind. "But what is it that you truly desire? Is it wisdom that you seek, or something else?" Kofi's mind raced. He had never been asked such a question. What did he truly seek? He had thought he wanted wisdom, but as he stood there before the great creature, he began to feel a deeper yearning. "I seek to become something more," he said slowly, as if speaking to himself. "I want to be remembered, to be more than just a farmer." Ebuma's trunk moved slightly, brushing the ground. The elephant's deep, ancient gaze did not leave Kofi. "The land remembers all things," Ebuma said softly. "The soil remembers the seed, the tree remembers the branch, the leaf remembers the sun. But the wind? The wind remembers nothing, for it is always moving, always seeking something new. Are you like the wind, young one, or like the tree that stands firm?" Kofi's heart sank. He had never thought of himself as like the wind. He had always been in constant search for something greater, something beyond the here and now. But the elephant's words made him pause. Perhaps the true gift was not in seeking something outside himself, but in finding peace with what was already before him. I will test you, Ebuma continued, his voice becoming a deep, rumbling growl. There is a tree at the far edge of this forest, a tree that stands alone. It is called the Owo tree. Its roots reach deep into the earth, but its branches stretch towards the sky. Go to it. There, you will find the answer you seek. With that, the elephant turned and vanished into the shadows of the forest. Kofi stood still for a moment, his thoughts swirling. The Owo tree, he had heard of it, but no one had ever dared to go near it. The forest was full of stories, but none spoke of the tree with any certainty. Some said it was cursed, others that it was sacred, and still others believed it was the gateway to the spirit world. But Kofi knew what he had to do. He took a deep breath, grounding himself in the moment, and began to walk toward the distant clearing where the tree was said to stand. The night grew colder as Kofi ventured deeper into the forest. The silence of the tree seemed to watch him, and the air was thick with anticipation. When he finally reached the clearing, the Owo tree stood before him, its trunk wide and gnarled, its branches stretching out like arms toward the heavens. As Kofi approached, he could feel the presence of something ancient, something beyond understanding. He reached out and touched the tree, and in that moment, the ground beneath him seemed to tremble. A deep, quiet voice filled his mind. "What do you seek, young one?" the tree asked. Kofi closed his eyes, and in the stillness, he realized the truth. The gift he had sought, wisdom, glory, power, was never meant for him to take. It was already within him, waiting to be discovered in the quiet moments, in the work of his hands, in the connection with the land and the life he led. "I seek peace," Kofi whispered. The tree's branches swayed gently, as if in approval. And in that moment, Kofi understood. The land, the trees, the animals, they all had their roles, their place. It was not for him to seek greatness beyond his own life, but to honor the life he had. He returned to the village the next morning, not with a gift of treasure or power, but with a quiet understanding of the balance between the earth and the sky, between ambition and humility. He became known not for any grand achievements, but for the calm wisdom he carried with him, a wisdom rooted in the simple, patient work of the earth. And so, Kofi lived out his days, his hands ever deep in the soil, his heart content with the knowledge that sometimes the greatest gift is to be still and listen, to find peace in the life we already have. Moral of the story: true wisdom is not found in seeking what lies beyond us, but in understanding and accepting the gifts that the present moment offers. I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, please like and comment on what you learned from the tale, and remember to subscribe for more enchanting videos like this one. Thank you.